Okay, here we have racing for today, 7th of June 2019. So far the start for winter hasn't been great. 3 meetings today: Swan Hill, where the rail's in the true position; tar7jun, where the rail's out a couple of metres, soft 5; Rockhampton, where the rail is a hybrid; and Canberra-Acton, where the rail is in the true position. Now the meetings have already started, running a bit late here today. The 2 meetings that could be of interest are Swan Hill and tar7jun. tar7jun has been a pretty good performer for the ratings calculator over the years, so we'll have a look at a couple of races from tar7jun: race 6, race 7 and race 8, but basically race 6 and race 8, and again trying to keep the time to a minimum. If we have a look at the market now, we haven't done much on betting for markets. That's in the benchmark course. The idea with betting the market is to take the overs. So if we have a look here in this race, we've got Maui Prince, which is a slide over, Roy's Command, Magic Beneteau, and so on. Well, the top 3 plus this one and this one. We end up having, now the question is whether or not these other horses, Bill and Ted and Mick the Hat, are incorrectly rated. $25 and $37 chances. Clearly they wouldn't be that long a price in real life. However, the idea here, these markets are set at 75%, 70%. You can change that in the setup. We have a look at Bill and Ted. Basically, he's a 1,000 metre style horse, 1,100 metre horse. He has run a 1,200 metre race and failed in arguably the same class with less weight. So you wouldn't be rushing to get on him. They have got Michael Walker up there, who is a noted front runner. Right, well, he's a great rider, but he's great in front. So I imagine what they're going to do with Bill and Ted is try to jump it to the front and try to dictate the terms. He does look somewhat doubtful at the distance, but you think on that basis he could probably hang on for a place. So we would put him in as a place chance, but that's about it. The other favourite in the race, Mick the Hat. He's got the bad barrier, he has plenty of weight, he's on the quick backup, and the same thing, he doesn't look like a fantastic 1,300 metre horse. Now 1,300 metres is an odd distance, and so it is possible that he could get a drag along and run well in the race, but looking at it, he does look vulnerable in this race. Doesn't mean to say that he can't win. The same thing with the other one, but they both have enough convictions against them to suggest that this could be a reasonable race to do from a market viewpoint. Next thing, if you're going to do markets, is you should have a look at the graph to see if there's any horrendously terrible ratings standing out. So this Mr. Smarty's got this one high rating, but we'll probably let that stand. Maui Prince has got this one high rating, so it's whether or not we're going to be rating it high on that race only, although she did win that previous race there. Scrolling down, again, these ratings are working on the last 6 starts. Roy's Command is probably one that's going to get a bit of an abnormally high rating there, but he did run in a Ken's Highway. So the problem with ratings is you've really got to be looking at what these other ratings were, and if you've got this one standout rating and then all the other ratings are low, then really why do you want to have Roy basing on that rating there, which was a 40? So probably need to be looking at reducing Roy. Magic Beneteau, he's had 2 runs in so far without looking at those runs. It's possible that he could re-emulate these ratings here. Maui Prince, that rating's probably a bit high as well, so you could probably lower 7 and 10 and maybe the toppy as well. So looking at the ratings, knock her down by a couple of kilos, knock him down by a couple of kilos, knock him down by a couple of kilos, and well, Maui Prince is no longer an over. Looking at the current form, Roy did nothing first up. Magic Benetto's had a couple of runs in, looks to be on the improve, and so on. Let's run through and have a quick look at the form. So from the top, Maui Prince has been racing well, has won a Tamworth race, admittedly only in a maiden, over 1200. Does look like she can run the distance, although again, there's no evidence to support that. One run for one fail in this Kembla Grange race. It's hard to say what that means. Certainly she didn't do much in that preparation. So you could say she'd be some sort of chance, but not, you'd say, a fantastic chance looking at the form. So I'll say some chance. Magic Benetto, he's been running in shorter distance races. Now he's won a Dubbo race over 1300, but only in a 49 class. And this, he had 58 kilos that day, and it has 57 here. So in other words, he's more or less got the same weight, and is up significantly in class. He has had a couple of runs over 1,000 metres, which are too short by the look of it. And certainly he could improve, but he's going to have to improve a lot on this win here to be able to win this race. Does have the good barrier, not badly weighted, so some chance. Roy's Command ran in a highway, had barrier 11, first up after 92 days, so you could say that run doesn't mean anything, so you could pretty much ignore that run. The other races he's got here, he has got a win at Tari over 1250 and a 59, so it's more or less the same class. He's up half a kilo on that run. He does have a worse barrier. He'd have to be some chance, but going on the first up run, you would think he's more a place chance. Shangardo, first up here after 134 days. He has had a trial, but in 7 lengths almost, so not what you call a great trial run, but who knows without looking at it. Has been racing over longer distances. Last time first up, didn't do much over 1200. It seems pretty unlikely, although that was a soft 7. He might improve on the drier track, but he seems pretty unlikely. Place chance. You wait and see. Has been racing pretty well with quite a lot of extra weight, 61.5. He was in a 58 there, and he's up to a 60, so he's going up 2 benchmark points, so 1 kilogram. He's going down from 61.5 down to 57, so he's down 4.5 kilos. This horse is definitely a chance. Barrier 1's not going to suit him because he gets back, and he is back 100 metres, so he's got a few things against him, but at the same time, his form's pretty good. It all just depends on how the track's going to be racing. The rail out 2 metres may suit front runners, but it may not. So this is of course the problem with horse racing. Tipping horses halfway through the meeting or near the end of the meeting, and then you don't know what's happening at the race or the meeting. So you wait and see, some chance. Mr. Smarty. He's another one back from a let up 73 days. He hasn't had a trial. He's been racing in similar company, racing okay, 60 kilos. He's got barrier 10 and 60 kilos again. He looks to be some chance, without a doubt, but probably more a place chance than a winning chance. So we've considered Bill and Ted, and we considered Mick the Hat as well, so there's not many left. Son of Spartacus is close to being an over. 43 days off, back from a Randwick benchmark 70. So he's down a little in class in theory, but then he's been slammed at the weights from 53 to 58.5. And he didn't have a claim, so it's pretty hard to see him winning this race, but at the same time he has got some strong form in there in terms of places. So you would think the old Son of Spartacus would have to be a place chance in this race. We've looked at Mick the Hat already. We'll make him a place chance as well. Let's look at the last two. Matakari won at Tari in a 54. He's gone up 6. He's down a kilo, so he's down 2. Won first up. Last time he won second up. So you'd have to say he would be some sort of chance of winning this race. Ben Looker on board. He has to be some chance. And I've got this, another one that's first up, 137 days, no trial. Did have a trial last time before it ran in the Kempsey Cup. It seems probably unlikely first up, so we'll prefer that first up. So if we sort this in terms of our chances, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 winning chances in theory, although there's a lot of place chances, and quite often the horse you think's a place chance ends up winning the race, but you can only go on your own opinion. Your opinion, of course, may be completely different to mine. So here we had the market, which basically, if you're going to bet on Betfair, chances are you'll be able to get on Maui Prince again. She doesn't look a super chance of winning anyway. Magic Beneteau is an over, as is You Wait and See. And if you were going to do anything, then you would save on Matakari. So if we're going to do a double, we'd take those 4 horses in the first leg, and well, assuming we can get one of those home, we would then double up into another race. Now we've already taken the 10 minutes on this one race, so we're not going to consider the other race in detail. You could also try laying Bill and Ted and Mick the Hat as well. I'd lay both of those for the win. Certainly they could easily run a place. The same thing has been happening these last few days. These horses still look like they're some solid chance of winning. So certainly don't bet the bank on it. Race 7 is got the top 2 picks at the top of the market here, so there's not a lot of value there, but you may consider backing those 2. So you could take those 4 into this race, into these 2 for a running double. Race 8, we end up having another one of those races where we've got this progressive type of horse, Marawaka, whatever his name is, running in this. He won first up in a maiden, so clearly he's pretty good. This is only a class 1, so maiden in the class 1, basically there's nowhere else the horse can go, so you can't really say it's up in class, even though it is. There's no other race it could run in. So it's hard to say whether Marakawa is going to fail here. But the same thing with the overs. We have a number of overs opportunities in this race. So without going through this race, we could take these overs. I wouldn't be rushing to be laying Marakawa or in fact Ultimate Power in this race. So assuming we can get race 6 home with the overs, you can back up on race 8. If you don't get anything in race 6, well, I think I'd just leave race 8. I think we're dead in the water if race 6 goes down. So anyway, that's the end of the video for today. We'll see how we go a bit later.